amazing artists. Today we are going to learn how to draw a lion, and we're going to fill it in with some texture. So you're going to need a paper, a pencil, a black crayon, some crayons that you can make a texture rubbing with, and some textures that you can use for your texture rubbing. To make my lion, I'm going to start with a big upside down triangle, but I don't want it to fill the entire page because I want to have some space for all the rest of the lion around it. After I draw my big upside down triangle, I'm going to draw a line sectioning off the bottom part of the triangle. Then I'm going to draw a circle on either side of the triangle. And then I'm going to draw a little circle around the bottom part of the triangle, kind of starting where that line is. And then I'm going to draw a bigger circle around the top part of the triangle. I'm going to use 2 half circles at the top of the big circle for ears. I'm going to draw a kitty cat smile, some whiskers, and then I'm going to draw a big wavy line around the whole thing for a mane. Now that I've got it drawn, I'm going to trace it with my black crayon. And if I want to make my lion my own, I can always add things like eyelashes to it, or I can add some ferocious teeth to really make it my own. After I draw in my lion and I trace it with black crayon, then I want to find my textures, and I want to add color to our lion using textures. So I'm going to take my texture plate and I'm going to put it right under my paper, and I'm going to use my rubbing crayons to add some texture. And as you can see, I picked out some lion colors so that I can make my lion look really nice. So for the mane, I think I'm going to use brown for the mane. And you can see when I rub my rubbing crayon on it, I have a little bit of texture. And if I want to move my texture plate around, that texture changes a little bit every time I rub. And you can see I'm only filling in the mane with this color and this texture plate. And I'm being careful not to color any other part of the lion. If you don't have a texture crayon like this, a rubbing crayon, you can use a crayon that you have torn the wrapper off of. And if you don't have a rubbing plate, you can use anything with texture that you might find around the house. It just needs to be kind of flat so that you can lay your paper down on top of it and create a rubbing. All right, so there is my lion's mane. Now I'm going to use a different texture plate, and I'm going to do my lion's face. I'm going to use orange for my lion's face. I'm going to do ears too. But I'm not going to do this nose part of its face. I'm just going to do the circular parts. All right. And now I'm going to do this part of the lion's like forehead and nose. I'm going to do yellow. So I'm going to use a variety of colors. Oh, I should have switched my texture out. Oh well. I'm going to switch to this texture for my nose. I'm going to use pink for the nose. And then I'm going to switch the texture again for my background. All right, and now my lion is filled with lots of visual texture. Now to add actual texture to your lion, you're gonna need a glue bottle, and you're also gonna need something that has a texture. and we're gonna add it to our lion's mane to make it have like a nice woolly lion's mane. Now I happen to have this funky crinkly paper, but you might not have that. You might have something like yarn, or you might have something else that works even better. So if you don't have crinkly funky paper like I do, look around, see what you have, see what you can use, and it's probably a good idea for it to be lion mane color. All right, and I'm just gonna get a little bit. I don't need a ton. I'm gonna put the rest of this away. And it looks like I got a mixture of yarn and crinkly paper. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put down some glue, and I'm just putting it on my mane. And you can see I just did a thin line all around. And I'm gonna take my texture that I found, and I'm just gonna add it to my lion's mane. And now you can see that my lion is very, very woolly and textury, with actual texture, tactile texture, and visual texture. All right, and I'm gonna set this down someplace where it can dry without being disturbed. And when it's finished gluing, when all the glue is dry, some of this stuff might come off, but that's okay, because not all of it is touching the glue. And what you'll be left with is whatever's left over. That's just gonna be the part of the lion that has tactile texture. But you can still see all the visual texture that we put in. And you can see that we only used lion color, so we kept it in the same color family with the warm lion colors and the warm textures. And there we have our texture lion.